In February of last year, I started a media company with some former colleagues from the world of advertising and journalism. We decided to work together in part to study our polarized political culture and the deleterious effect it's having on our republic. As part of this effort, we began reporting on the most powerful media companies in America and how they use tactics like engagement by enragement to keep us all firmly inside our own political tribes. If I voted for Joe Biden as one example, then I'm a socialist or a communist, according to Fox News and Breitbart. And if I voted for Donald Trump, well, then I'm supporting bigotry or racism, according to outlets like the New York Times and the Washington Post. Last year, one of our journalists wrote a piece about a conservative news and entertainment platform called The Daily Wire, a media company started by Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring back in 2015. As part of our reporting, we pulled all of their public media metrics, and what we found was astounding. And why we named the piece is Ben Shapiro the most powerful man in news media. What was also astounding was the amount of online venom we received after it was published. We lost subscribers and received lots of little love notes that accused us of platforming evil and causing literal violence through our reporting, and that we needed to stop. After being told to stop, we took a camera crew to Nashville, Tennessee to attend one of the Daily Wire's live events for ourselves and sit down face-to-face with some of the loyal fans to ask them questions about the topics that divide our culture the most. Let's watch what happens next. We can talk about it on the other side. All right, great. You guys ready? Let's roll. Well, thank you guys very much for coming on camera. Hi, I'm Joey Dumont. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you, Margot.
So we're here at the Daily Wire event, and I just wanted to talk to some people. Thank you, Nicole, for joining me today.
Of course.
Where'd you guys come from?
Wichita, Kansas.
Well, we just moved to Tennessee from Vancouver, Washington.
Greenville, South Carolina.
Houston, Texas.
So you guys are here for the Daily Wire event, correct?
Indeed, for the second time. We came last fall.
This is my first event. I'm super excited. I listen to Matt and Ben daily.
The top thing on our birthday list was to see someone from the Daily Wire in person.
For me, the Daily Wire is my go-to.
I like to have a bunch of different sources, but the Daily Wire are the most entertaining.
I think they're changing the way that people think about politics, and they are making people more aware of what's really going on.
I just, like many people, just started seeing Shapiro's videos on YouTube, and then, as they say, went down the rabbit hole.
Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire has more followers and engagement than the New York Times or CNN.
I started with Matt Walsh.
Matt Walsh has kind of risen to the top with his What is a Woman documentary. That was first class.
I thought what he had to say and not getting the answers was groundbreaking.
What is a woman?
I'm not sure that we should continue with this interview.
I think this interview is over.
Well, I guess it's like, why are you asking the question?
It's not that there's a lack of compassion for people struggling with that, but now I believe that it's become a social contagion.
I have a child who's chosen to do transgender, so it really rang true with me and what we're going through in our family.
Like, as a parent, to try and protect somewhat of the traditional values that we have is extremely hard day to day. So we're thankful that we have a conservative outlet to at least feel like we're not in this alone.
So Roe v. Wade was overturned.
Hallelujah.
There's my answer.
Yep.
So I don't need any more. So you're very happy about that
I'm
decision.
very happy about that decision.
I mean, I was overjoyed Friday, and I think that was the right move, to move it back to the States.
Me personally, I am a strong Christian. God values life, He created life, and therefore it's not our job to determine when to take it.
I don't understand what people are so upset about. It's doing what they want them to do. It's giving it the freedom back to the people, back to the states where you can decide what you want locally.
As you can see from this footage, this story captures the kinship between a conservative media company and their devoted fan base. It's a story about the beliefs and opinions of approximately half our country, and it's a peek through the window of a culture divided by both geography and ideology. Since our initial reporting in February of last year, the Daily Wire's popularity has exploded due to partnerships with firebrand personalities like Dr. Jordan Peterson and Dennis Prager, whose combined videos and podcasts have been downloaded over 6 billion times. The Daily Wire has also committed $100 million over the next 3 years to produce kids content to compete directly with Disney and their quote-unquote woke content. The Daily Wire now has 1 million paid subscribers, 17 million followers on Instagram, 70 million monthly engagements on Facebook, and an estimated $200 million in annual revenue. It's also worth noting that Ben Shapiro's podcast has been downloaded over 1.6 billion times. So why is this so important? And why are we sharing this story with you today? Well, because the Daily Wire is not only participating in our political culture, they're actually helping to create it, both emotionally and legislatively, a goal shared by their co-CEO, Jeremy Boring, during this Nashville event. And to prove this out, in 2021, the Daily Wire filed a lawsuit with the U.S. Court of Appeals to fight the COVID-19 mandates of the Biden administration. And in January of 2022, won a 6-3 decision in the Supreme Court. And due to Matt Walsh's reporting on Vanderbilt's Transgender Medical Center, Tennessee Republicans introduced legislation that prohibits gender-affirming care to minors in their state, a bill that passed the Senate on February 14, 2023. The Daily Wire has achieved their goal of actually creating political content for millions of conservative voters, voters who want to be seen and heard by the media, and voters who genuinely believe that the policies and ideologies of our progressive left are an existential threat to their way of life. During a 2018 interview with Vanity Fair, Jeremy Boring was asked, "What's a one-hit wonder in this space?" And he said, quote, "I think it's someone who can only survive one presidency. If we can find ourselves 2 years into the next presidency, and Ben is still a dominant voice, he's probably got runway for the rest of his career," end quote. And this is why Ben Shapiro matters. Love him or hate him, he's here to stay, as are his millions of fans and followers. So, do you believe Ben Shapiro matters? Do you believe that his growing media empire matters? And do you believe his loyal fans and followers matter? If so, we'd really like to hear from you at True 30. But be polite. Thanks for watching.